heard of Isadora Duncan. She was an American dancer, although she was a Soviet citizen because she was very, very predisposed towards communism, I think. But she was born in California, traveled around the world, spreading her philosophy of dance. I think her students were called Isadorables. But she had this philosophy and she spread it around and was, very popular in her day. But what happened to her was, and this comes up because somebody asked for her pictures, what happened to her was she was on the French Riviera. She was in Nice. She was wearing this beautiful silk scarf and she was sitting in a sports car and she was riding along in this sports car, and the scarf, even though people had said, look, you might not want to wear that, it's very long and you could get into trouble, this scarf got tangled up in the wheel spokes and the axle and ripped her out of the car. And I think she pretty much died on the spot. She was certainly dead by the time she got to hospital. But somebody said, well, you do transition pictures for her. And I thought, yeah, that's quite interesting for somebody who had such an amazing life. There was lots of tragedy to do with her children. One drowned, one died shortly after birth and so on. But her life otherwise had many, many good points to it. She just died suddenly in her 50s. So when I went into her energy for that moment, she was another one who was falling, but very, very fast. And it was almost like she fell into a duvet. This duvet just got more and more suffocating and claustrophobic. And there was a flower and the petals closed around her. And Isadora Duncan was gone. So I followed the energy of her consciousness through until she got in that metaphorical cave that I always see. And she was inconsolable. She was kneeling on the ground, sobbing with regret. Oh my God, what have I done? I should have listened to the people who said don't wear the scarf. Obviously, she was a dancer, she was a performer, so some of this was melodramatic. But it was totally justified. She had many, many years to go, and much of her philosophy about dance to spread, and school she was running and so on. And here she was suddenly dead. It impacted her consciousness in such a way, the suddenness of being torn out of mortal life and put in the spiritual world alone. It was such a short distance between being alive, being in form, being mortal and having all this to experience and live in, and going and being in spirit, being formless. It was a very short distance. We assume that it's a process, that it's a big deal, but it can be really quick, which is why we have to value what we have and live life like every minute matters. And she took it really hard. It was like, oh, I don't deserve this. I don't want this. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have to go through this. But there was nobody there to watch her performance. Nobody there to respond to her pleas. This was a current that she was a part of and had to go with. She had basically chosen by not choosing to remove her scarf. It was a choice, but it hit her very, very hard.